Alright, hello people, I'm the dude and I just watched Hercules, which was exactly what I thought it was gonna be. I'm seeing a lot of negative reviews for it. I don't get it. What did they think the movie was gonna be, honestly? Were they expecting, like, this big sweeping epic or something? It's not. You can tell from the trailer, it's not. It's just a fun movie where Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson gets to play Hercules and swings around this giant chunk of lumber, like whacking people like they're baseballs, and it's a fun movie. It wasn't ever going to be anything more than that. The action scenes are really good. The actors, for the most part, are passable. None of them are terrible, right? Not even the bit parts are terrible. They're all passable, and that's all they needed to be. I mean, it's like an adventure action movie. It feels like that old Kevin Sorbo Hercules TV series that I used to watch when I was a kid. It feels a lot like that. He's kind of a big lumbering oaf who just means well, and he gets to, slap the crap out of tons and tons of bad guys. Uses monstrous strength to throw dudes around and, smack the crap out of them. It works. It's fun. I liked it. I don't even like Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson much these days, but he was good here. He did exactly what he needed to be. I mean, he's this giant hulk of a guy, and that's what they wanted. And he's having fun with the role, and there's a lot of action scenes for him to, be Hercules, be a badass, and it works. He gets to smack people around, throw people. He like grabs a horse like it's a, I don't know, like it's some little child's toy and flings it around. He knocks at the very end of the movie. He knocks this giant statue over that probably weighs as much as a house, and he rides his chariot, and like he's just riding his chariot, running around like mowing people down, wham, wham, with his giant club. It's just really fun to watch. The story itself, I guess I've already gone a little bit into spoilers, but whatever. Spoilers. The story itself, it turns out that the guy he's working for is the bad guy. He doesn't know that at the time. He trains this guy's army, and he leads the army into battle, and they win the fight pretty much completely because of Hercules, because of his training and his like presence on the battlefield. And then it turns out that the guy he's helping is the usurper. He's the bad guy. He's the one that is like, he's kidnapped the boy king who should be king, and he's holding him against his will and all this. And so Hercules, being the good guy, has to make things right. And he ends up, the big climax at the end is he's basically face to face with the army he trained, right? We're talking about like hundreds of soldiers versus Hercules and his little band of merry men. I think he has like 4 or 5 companions, all of them versus this entire army. And it's a cool little standoff. One of his men, the crazy guy, he gets to have a heroic death. The other guy who keeps saying that he's meant to die, he's like fated to die, he thinks he can see the future. He keeps failing, right? He stands in this like giant volley of arrows, and he thinks he's gonna die, and they all miss. Then he's like, I'm gonna die to this a flaming spear, very specific, right? This guy throws a spear, it goes through the fire, sets on fire, and flies straight at him, but Hercules grabs it out of the air and saves him. He's like, fuck fate, my friend. You can thank me later, I think is what he says, or something like that. But, they all have, all the little individual characters have their own parts to play. The Amazon's basically Legolas. She really is. She's really acrobatic, and she can't be touched for the most part. And her aim is insane, and she's just firing arrows like crazy fast, taking dudes out. The guy with the knives, like throwing knives, I thought he was going to betray Hercules. I thought that's what they were setting up. He just looks like that kind of guy, right? He looks like he's going to stab him in the back, and he really doesn't. He leaves the band or whatever, the group. He wants to take the gold and go live like a king or whatever, and he says he's going to leave, but he comes back at the very end in the climax and saves them, right? The bad guy has the kid, the boy king, and they've got all these archers lined up, and he just comes in out of nowhere, like chucking knives and taking dudes out. But, they all had their part to play, and it was all really cool. And Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who else would you have had to play Hercules? I mean, seriously. He's the new Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? If this was back then, Arnie would have played Hercules, but because it's now, it's got to be The Rock. It has to be. I mean, who would even come close? And he doesn't screw it up. He's really good here. I liked it. He had fun with the role. He smiled every once in a while. There's most of like big hulking lumbering guys that are actors. They have to be like super serious all the damn time, and they can't have fun with anything. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson isn't like that, right? If you watch him in interviews, he looks like a really happy guy, like really jovial, like he can have fun with what he's doing. And it works here because he didn't need to be super serious. This movie wasn't super serious. It wasn't supposed to be. But yeah, all the action looks really good, and it's not on the level like 300, but there is, some blood and some gore, and no dismemberments or anything like that. But it all looks, realistic enough, and it feels really visceral, and it was fun to watch. So I don't know what else people were expecting here. If you wanted some kind of like Herculean epic or something like that, you're in the wrong place. This is just a fun little movie. That's really all it is. No one's gonna probably remember this a week from now, let alone years. It is what it is. And for what it was, I liked it. So take that for what you will. I'll see you guys next time.